please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Well, isn't this just fantastic?
Why is there a Tesla here? Bro, there's an electric car.
Bro, do they not understand? It's electric. They can't put petrol in it.
Look, you've got an electric car, mate.
That's how you can tell if it's a rental. Do they not actually understand that it's electric? They don't take petrol.
I have been told, reliably informed in fact, that it can be considered comforting to know that not all the stupidity from this planet comes out of America, but they do like to try. Welcome everyone to This Week at Twitter, or twat. Let us begin with a tweet from Bud Light. It's the 4th of July weekend. Enjoy some beer. Included is an image of Bud Light. Underneath is a rather, well, it's a spicy meme, I guess, by the standards of what we can get away with now, of the Ocean Gate Titan submarine, but with a Dylan Mulvaney outer shell Bud Light can. If you can't tell from the likes, the quote tweets, the retweets, they were starting to get ratioed. And considering the number of views, the engagement on that tweet is not great. It's quite a damning statement, one might go so far as to say catastrophic. For one of those events in America that is quite busy, you would have thought they would do a bit better by now to ensure their profit margins weren't so badly harmed. But it turns out they've learnt nothing yet. But happy 4th of July to those who celebrate it, whether you be American or other and just like to dunk on the Brits. You do you, boo. We're not here to judge. So let's move on to sport before we go on to something I find quite lol-worthy. Hamed, Twitter. Canelo's 3-fight deal options with Premier Boxing. Now, Canelo recently left Matchroom. Why? Because to be honest, Matchroom had no one left for him to fight. The Dimitri Bivol fight fell through, so the rematch is off the table. Signing with PBC is an option. Included though in Hamed's tweet is 5 fighters who fight under the PBC banner, 3 of whom qualify. And I mean qualify because Canelo is the undisputed super middleweight champion. 2 of them really don't. So, retweeted by Gritty from The Underground, ranked these 5 from the hardest to easiest opponents for Canelo. He put Benavidez first, Morrell second, Spence third, Andrade fourth and Charlo fifth. Now I would change this. I'd leave Benavidez first, Andrade second, Charlo third, Morrell fourth and Spence fifth. Now Spence is an amazing talent. However, the other 4 are super middleweights. I would say for the sake of it, I don't rate Morrell that highly yet because beyond his amateur background, he's only actually had 9 competitive fights. We don't know enough about him. Charlo is a multi-weight, multi-division champion. Same with Andrade from middleweight to super middleweight, and Benavidez is a 2-time WBC super middleweight champion that never lost his title because twice he failed drug tests. The second time, he tested positive for sherbet. As is often the case with Twitter, keyboard warriors especially, but also within the field of boxing, it gets quite polarizing when you put pictures of individuals up and try and rank them, which ultimately ended with somebody, Edgar Alvarez, getting flayed because he believed that Canelo could have beaten Usyk at cruiserweight. Canelo lost to Dimitri Bivol last year at light heavyweight. I doubt he would have stood a chance against Usyk. Both Usyk and Bivol are talents above many you would ever come across. So next, we have a video from Alan Roberts, who tweeted, "You are too fat to fly. What about the safety of everyone else on board? Someone help me start a petition for a size limit for commercial air travel to ensure the safety of the other passengers. Reality exists."
Let's just state facts. Plus-size travelers need more space. And many people agree that plane seats are too small, even for the average-sized person. As a plus-size traveler myself, I know how uncomfortable and unsafe it can be to squeeze into a tiny airplane seat. We are not asking for special treatment or luxury accommodations. We simply want enough space to travel comfortably and safely.
I do not believe that the FAA should protect plus-size travelers in this way. I really don't, because commercial airlines are seeking to make money. That's what they do. That is the point of a business after all. You want them to accommodate for you and cut into their margins. No, I don't support that in the slightest. If you are uncomfortable, choose a different airline. If you can't get a seat to your size, for many factors, including the obvious, they don't make them in that size, then you have to book either 2 seats or get good scrub. So next, we're going into a territory that will lead to a Twitter interaction that I get. We'll start with Chris the Narc. Cuck Cope included as a video from a stream of Keffel's, I believe.
So I said this on stream when Tipster was there. I had to have this argument with chat because I'm not a cuck. So first of all, I'm not a cuck tipster. See, I said that I'm not a cuck. So that should be evidence in and of itself. But second of all, but I have been in a relationship where I watched my partner have sex with another person.
Sometimes you just need to let the stupid air itself out. No additional comment required. Since she's considered a transphobe, this all ties in handily. You have J.K. Rowling as a segue. Josh had tweeted to her, "Suck my dick, bitch." She retweeted this with, "Going to have to pass. Last time I sucked something that tiny, it got stuck between my front teeth. #irritate. Well, I didn't expect that. Not gonna lie here. When people show they have the ability to bite and willingly do it, a clapback that's worthy of a Arnold Rimmer salute, yeah, I'm all in favour of it. It must be quite grating at this point to be continually called things like transphobe or trabsphobe. Earlier in the week, I put out 3 videos. 2 of them were complete additions to the end of year review. In one of those, I had asked Shenanigans if I could ask for a summary of what she thought Chantel's 2022 was like. She had tweeted, "I was very honoured and humbled to be asked to contribute by a Megon. 10 out of 10 recommend." Okay. Reply. Please remember that a Megon is a raging anti-trans conservative. Please don't engage or collaborate. He's awful. Now, I don't mind being called awful. It's hilarious to me. I'm not anti-trans by any stretch of the imagination, and I'm certainly not a conservative. You'd know that if you watch my politics streams. And I've never been anti-trans, but I will call out bad ideas when I see them. If it comes to children transitioning, I'm firmly against it. Those that are transgender competing in sports for the gender they identify with, I'm also against it. As has now been proven with more athletics governing bodies getting involved here and saying, actually, the research now says, no, you shouldn't be allowed to. I am fully on the side of the science here. Not that many seem to be okay with this. It has caused a great schism in society, where some believe you are depriving women the opportunity to compete. And then you have those who are biological women saying, yeah, but you're now depriving us the ability to compete, make money, and get by, succeed and prosper. Puberty introduces biological advantages for genetic men. That is immutable. You cannot change that. So I replied with, can confirm I am definitely a conservative, which is why I never align in politics and typically hold a centre-left position. Something which is true. Generally I sit around the centre somewhere, and it would be probably slightly more towards the centre if when I did those political alignment tests they had the ability to give me a middle ground answer. Reply, being trabsphobic is not centre-left, and there you have the thought-terminating cliche buzzword. These words aggravate me. They aggravate me because they tell me you don't pay attention, or you're not listening. You don't want to listen. You're welcome to these perspectives, by the way. I am well within my right as well to dunk on you because you're so desperate to pigeonhole me that you'll just use a buzzword because your feelings. You are here apparently an arbiter of truth, so by all means tell me more about that. I did retweet you and it did cause you to reply and act like a victim because apparently the size of my audience is an indicator that I am trying to use them against you, but it turns out, no, I don't care how big or small you are. If you're an idiot pushing bad ideas, you're an idiot pushing bad ideas. One of my patrons, who happens to be trans, left you a Twitter thread response, and when you decided to get off your high throne to clap back, you didn't notice that the person you were clapping back to is trans. You weren't paying attention. By the way, that doesn't make the person who defends me a token, alright? Everyone's opinions are valid. Even yours, when you are using words that could get me cancelled flippantly. How quaint. I won't lie, part of me thought if I kept on responding, I'd get a block from you, because based on your Twitter, you're a bitch. But it didn't work. I failed. F in the comments for my failure to attain a block that I felt I deserved. I was earning it. I put in the graft and everything. So last week the Supreme Court passed a bunch of annual changes. Yeah, they do it every year. Last year it was Roe v. Wade and it caused a storm, okay? This year It wasn't that at all. It was affirmative action. President Biden tweeted, "For decades, the Supreme Court recognized a college's freedom to decide how to build a diverse student body and provide opportunity. Today, the court walked away from precedent, effectively ending affirmative action in higher education. I strongly disagree with this decision." I don't. But this isn't the part that matters. Getting his own electric boogaloo is Justice Dankula. We were careful in our decision, Mr. President. He got so much shit for this last year, he thought he'd do it again. And he was right to. The replies are absolutely delicious. Later on, Justice Dankula retweeted Pop Crave, who had tweeted in a 6-3 vote, "The Supreme Court has officially ruled that businesses have the right to discriminate against LGBTQ+ Americans by saying the court rules that you can bake your own effing cake." Oh dear. He later tweeted, "Students, when they have to pay back $500,000 after triple signing a loan agreement that says several times they will have to pay back $500,000. Pikachu shocked. Response image thing. Doodah." Yeah, because that's a thing as well. I was wondering what would happen with that whole student loan forgiveness idea. The final tweet that's relevant, July the 4th, of course. We've got to crap on the Brits. "On this most glorious of days, the court rules that British is illegal." And I can completely agree. Why? Because there are many countries within the United Kingdom, or to be British, that are British. I think we should be allowed to respect who they are. Perhaps champion them a bit. Let's make England great again. Acronym MEGA. It's better than MAGA, isn't it? Because when you hear MEGA, you think Mega Powers. Mega Drive. Is there a power metal band with Mega in the name? If there isn't, I might name mine that. Maybe I'll call it Mega Turbo and then a mythical creature here. Yeah? Mega Turbo Griffin. Ooh, that works. Trademark. So next, Fox News. Greta Thunberg, latest world leader to meet with Ukrainian president. Just a thing? Just a thing? I didn't realize Sweden had elections and that the girl that had just finished secondary or high school, whatever it's called in Sweden, Bork school? I don't give a shit. Was somehow a world leader. You sure about that? I mean, you get accused of being fake news like CNN and MSNBC, but not for this reason, surely. Elon Musk on Twitter retweeted Theo Von, who had tweeted, "My podcast with Roseanne was removed from another platform, so I want it to be able to live somewhere. Amen." Elon simply said, "Comedy is legal on this platform." Retweeted by Roseanne Barr, "Damn, it feels good to be a gangster. Thank you, blah blah, for getting me my Twitter back. 62 million views isn't bad for a multi-cancelled has-been." And then thanking Elon Musk and Theo Von, "Comedy is back." Now, I've not listened to this podcast, but I do know that Roseanne Barr is to some platforms still haram, which makes it quite tricky for someone like Roseanne to be heard. They did such wonders on the reboot of the show. The final thing I want to cover was shared about by a lot of people. It's a 26-second video shared by Richard Cooper and Alan Roberts. Ian Miles Chung had tweeted it with "Fatness Studies expert explains why it is necessary for bodybuilders to be inclusive to fat bodies." Context was added to it that Miles Chong had also added, "She's being satirical, by the way. I wish I didn't have to point that out," because many people really didn't get this and accused him of being trash because of the work she does to combat woke culture infiltrating academia. Here's the clip.
We argued that the only reason people admire bodybuilders who have built their body with muscle and not obese people who have built their body with eating huge amounts of food is because there's prejudice against fat people. And so bodybuilding could benefit from including the non-competitive display of fat bodies alongside muscular ones.
I knew it was satire, and I barely know who she is. Helen Pluckrose, by the way, that's her name. She was describing an intentionally absurd paper that she wrote as a hoax to trick academic journals into publishing it. Like that, Titania McGrath thing, whatever the character was, that stuff, yeah? Like that. People fell for this crap, and it's quite sad, really. But that's hardly a surprise considering the world we live in.